We look forward tonight, and we also remember the past here at the Voice of College Football on our Florida State show, Seminoles Live 109 with Jason Parker, NBC6, right at the top of the screen. And, of course, Logan Robinson from Knoll Game Day. We've got Hall of Fame nominees, 3 primary players from Florida State that should be automatic shoo-ins. But first, of course, we're going to address recruiting, because June is going to be crazy. Guys, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Guys, I want to apologize for not being here last week. I do sincerely apologize for it. Sorry to our fans that you had to settle for Logan in the middle of Dallas. Sorry, I do apologize for that. So I promise I will be here for at least the next 3 weeks. So get ready, get excited, get your hate mail coming. We are here and ready for it. But more importantly, guys, we are 3 months away from the season. And the preview magazines are out. Go to your local Publix. As you can see, we got Emmett Rice from Miami on this one. Linebacker, you got Lieutenant Dan on the cover of this one. It's good. The magazines are out. That means football season is coming, guys. How excited are you, Logan?
I'm not excited that you use Emmett Rice's old number there on that magazine.
Yeah, I know. But still.
And probably, I mean, you have Mackenzie Milton. You also have Jordan Travis to use, even Deshaun Corbin, and go with, I don't know. And Emmett Rice, we don't know if he's fully healthy for camp yet. I'm just not happy about the magazine. I think they could have done better.
You got Mackenzie in the black jersey from the spring game. I mean, you got it right there.
Yeah, they have that. I'm fine with that magazine. The other one, you got to get it together. What are they doing?
Yep. The other one has us better ranked. We'll talk about that later on, but all right.
Yeah.
You know what I picked up from all of that? Not anything to do with the preseason magazines, but that Jason, how the mighty have fallen here. Jason used to knock out 80, 85 consecutive shows without missing. Now he's just promising the next 3 weeks. That's all he can give us. I'm going to go on a 3-game winning streak here. I used to knock out like 85 straight.
I can promise you, though, that now that the Miami professional sports teams have all essentially crapped the bed, you don't have to worry about that, because the Marlins aren't going to make the playoffs, so we don't have to worry about missing it for that for a while. The Dolphins will underachieve, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll hate on the Canes as the weeks go on here in the summertime, so I don't think we have to worry about that. So we should be good. We should be good for most of the summertime.
So Don B has it right here. This would be the Mr. Rogers neighborhood. This is the Knoll neighborhood. So it's kind of like a large development, and this is kind of a subdivision, the Florida State division over here. We've got 22 team channels, folks, here at the Voice of College Football. So before we turn it over to Logan to get us set up for June, because this is going to be crazy and it's very important for Mike Norvell and his staff, I want to remind everyone that we're here every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So lock it in, get the link out there so more people can join. Spread the word. We want to build this up toward August camp and football season. Jason's here. Logan's here. We're fired up. We're ready to go. And again, leave your comments, your questions, and debate topics there in the live chat.
Logan, look how Logan, have you slept at all since the recruiting period opened up?
Barely any whatsoever, and somehow traveled still here to Tallahassee yesterday. There's just too much going on. You can kind of like feel some kind of energy brewing over here, Jason. Something's going on.
It's like they're renting cars. It's like things are going on.
Whoa. We ain't renting in Tallahassee. We're not renting.
We leased it? Oh, that's a good deal.
We're not even no leasage. We buying and detailing, customizing.
Got it.
We don't
have money for buildings, but we have money for cars. Got it. Good
well, here's the fun thing here. Mike Norvell spent his own personal money, 30 to 40 racks on that customized.
Stop. Don't use the term racks, please.
30 to 40 racks. Is that too?
It's stacks, not racks.
That's racks. 30 to 40 racks on his slingshot ride that will be further used in the future, including now. Even Coach Dillingham was riding around with 5-star wide receiver Kevin Coleman today. They unveiled it. If you were in our Discord, Jason, you knew about this a good while before that was unveiled inside Doak Campbell Stadium. But that big thing is going to be used quite a bit for recruiting. It looks nice. It's got the climb on there. It's sweet. And Mike Norvell spent his own money on it. It doesn't affect the recruiting budget from what I've told. So it was actually, they were kind of shocked. A lot of people inside the program they were expecting it to leak because it was actually towed from somewhere in Tallahassee where it was customized all the way to Doak and cited there. And they thought it'd be leaked, but somehow that was not at all leaked. I don't know how that doesn't happen. Maybe they had the tarp around it or whatever, but they had that sitting inside Doak all throughout the afternoon. And then obviously we all know Mike Norvell and staff opened up the doors inside the Moore at 12:01 when the recruiting period has finally died. And now it is just a full go for Mike Norvell to meet these players finally in person. It's all been over Zoom, FaceTime, texting, Twitter DMs, IG DMs, all that. Now finally they're able to speak in person. The family members are able to come. The moms are able to come meet with the coaches. And all this kind of stuff. And I think some of the biggest storylines, number one, you've got AJ Duffy there, but you don't have Nico Marchio. Number two, you got Julian Armella kind of being kind of like a shocker kind of visit there. Number three, and you've got Kane Madden in town right off the bat for those 2 days. He's gone now off to go to his visit with Notre Dame. And then I think for the rest here, you're just waiting on Jaleel Skinner, Kevin Coleman, Madden, and maybe potentially others to kind of be on commit watch for the next couple of weeks or the month, I should say. So far, very, very successful. Even Armella, from what I was just told a couple of hours ago, really enjoyed his visit, was all smiles. And I think it really, for him, it really kind of showed how well Mike Norvell can recruit in person too. And, I think the biggest thing, we've been talking about it for months now, for him is going to have to be on the field play. A lot of these guys, it's going to be that way. I think it's the same thing with Marvin Jones Jr., who we've spoke about on here a couple times, just seeing what that on-field play is. And if there's improvement there, it should be great momentum for FSU on the recruiting trail. But so far, very successful for a lot of guys. And Travis Hunter is going to be here all week. I don't think he leaves. I don't think he ever leaves Tallahassee. I think for the spring game, they're all week. And then also now for this crazy recruiting official visits coming in, he's there holding Jaleel Skinner's hand saying, hey, don't go to Florida, come to FSU.
I think he eventually has to leave and go back to Georgia for his senior year of high school, but we can figure out something. Unless he wants to transfer to Childs or something like that. Who knows?
He might want to. Maybe I'll have to ask him if he wants to kind of slide over there for a little bit.
But legitimately, you talked about some of the guys. Obviously, Coleman's a big name that's been there. Hunter was all over social media ever since the doors opened at 12:01. Armella, coming from down here in South Florida, going up there. Could he surprise everyone and go to FSU? Who knows? What are some of the other names, some of the interesting names that you've seen, both either like surprise visits or guys who you think FSU made a really good impression on since the doors reopened?
I think the biggest surprise was, it's funny, both questions fit perfectly for Armella. I know he's spoken with a few outlets. I've heard things from this afternoon recapping his visit, but it was kind of a little bit of a surprise to see him there for that visit overall. And for him to be able to get to see the kind of excitement the staff has for him and how big of a deal it would be to bring in just a legacy recruit, but a huge need on that offensive line. I think that staff really did a good job of, kind of linking that whole Travis Hunter. You've also got Sam McCall, who's a 5-star DB too. You're kind of gotten a lot of these, and you got AJ Duffy there too. Some of your biggest bell cows in the class, very talented guys too across the country, be there to kind of talk with him, work with them. You've got Darius Washington, who's currently on the FSU team, executing a lot of recruiting roles in this, along with Kane Madden too. But Armella, I think, was not the biggest win, but I would say a huge win for FSU getting them there. And then also, from what I've heard, they did a really, really good job. And Armella was really impressed because, for him, I think it's mainly SEC, and I still think it's that way. Mm-hmm. Definitely LSU is the biggest competitor right now for any other school and Florida State. But you got to pull everything in full send on getting that talented offensive lineman.
Christian Diaz, we can talk later about why I'm always mad. But legitimate question, and we've talked about this, Logan, a lot on here, about the quarterback situation, about the quarterback room, and all the quarterbacks that Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham all seem to be going after. Arch Manning. Where's Dave? Any shot?
Share the videos out on social media because
what is going on? I'm hearing audio from.
I know, I am too.
That's me.
God.
I'm trying to tweet.
Come on, Mark.
I'm trying to tweet the link.
He's tweeting.
Show here. We've only said the word one time, and we're already 10 minutes in. This is a good show so far, and we're trying to focus here. Logan, eyes on the crisis.
Jason's back.
Eyes on the crisis. Arch Manning. Arch Manning.
Look at Mark looking at Jason.
Mark shooting daggers right there. Look at that daggers right there. But seriously, Arch Manning, obviously it's a big name because of the last name. Is Florida State going to even try to make a move for Peyton's little nephew, or are they just going to say enjoy Ole Miss?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything on it. I think if we would have heard some things on it, we'd definitely be having a full topic on it. But I don't see right now if Florida State's engaging with the young Manning at all. I have no clue. But I haven't even looked at what is he rated even. Gee.
He's rated number 1, apparently, according to
he's number 1. Yes.
Right
he's the number 1 quarterback in the country.
As you can see, fans, we really prepare here.
Yeah, we really did.
You don't have to go too far down the list. He's number 1. He's the 4th rated player in the country, regardless of position.
Yep, number 20.
Or number 3, according to the composite. Yeah, he's pretty well considered.
I feel like he's the guy who, unless Florida State has a monster season this year, and I'm talking a 10-win season, I don't think Florida State's even in the conversation. So
yeah, I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Focus on AJ Duffy, focus on Nico, focus on the quarterbacks we have right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't see anything happening right now. Florida State with what they have right now, I'm not expecting Nico to keep his commitment to FSU if I'm sitting here right now.
What?
Little prediction here.
What?
But I'm not expecting Nico Marchiol to stick with Florida State.
What are you hearing in the Discord? Yeah, I said it.
Number two. I just don't see. The biggest thing for me is that your bell cow, the guy that's helping recruit there and be alongside your other 2022 members, definitely Travis Hunter. It's kind of been flip-flopped to now where AJ Duffy's in that role. He's executing a lot of things with Kevin Coleman. Nico Marchiol hasn't really talked much about Florida State in the last little bit. He's been very silent with FSU outlets, including us, on interviews and contacting. He's also removed Florida State from his bios across social medias. At least I know his Instagram that has been removed. It just seems like he's opening up his recruitment. Don't know when it will happen. I would think it'd happen this month, but he is going to be visiting a lot of other schools here very soon. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think Florida State's going to look around maybe for a little bit more of depth, but AJ Duffy's rankings are going to increase quite a bit. Very talented. And if you're looking at it, if you're wanting to keep one of them, AJ Duffy is the one. More talented, might be a little bit more quiet, more on social media, but the connection that he has with also Bartow, and you're looking at recruiting Kevin Coleman, Florida State's biggest target at wide receiver, 5-star, that it helps a lot. So I just don't see Nico sticking with Florida State after this class. I think it happens. If I was going to do a timetable, it's definitely going to happen this summer, but it's going to happen before the end of June.
Well, now you just put him on the spot right there.
I did. A little bold prediction. You got to have some bold predictions. Got to get the viewers up. We're already at 50 viewers.
Logan, look at this from Danny. He thought last week from the highway was the best show ever.
I guess we got to get back on the road. Jason, we were doing it live on the road.
You really did the show from the road.
We did it right from the road. The connection might have been a little iffy, but we went on a lot of topics there. Took a lot of questions and answered.
We got a live shot from the Independence Bowl.
Yep.
Out the window, Logan shot it perfecally, speeding by at 75 miles an hour. Bam! There's the Independence Bowl. Look at it.
Side of Florida State's last bowl win. It was great moments. Great moments in Florida State football. Working hard.
Last bowl win. Oh, after the 17 season against what, UAB?
No, that was Southern Miss.
Southern Miss. UAB. Yeah.
The other
pretty much in the same bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, great place to go party place there after you win that big bowl game for the Independence.
No one has ever said, "Let me go party in Shreveport, Louisiana." Let's calm down.
Yeah. I think that's the best place to go celebrate. Screw that, needs to be in a New Year's Six bowl area. Let's be honest.
And ladies and gentlemen, Logan's already started drinking time.
I don't ever want to watch an FSU game there again.
Never.
It's a little depressing.
Little 2:00 on a Wednesday on ESPN. No, it was very depressing.
Only place you'd like to see Florida State play is next year in New Orleans, the Superdome.
Or down here in the Orange Bowl, which is a playoff game this year. So come on down, guys. Win the ACC.
I didn't know that was in Louisiana and Orlando. God dang, that's pretty impressive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the best thing that could happen for my channel, bringing up the playoffs, we could have a playoff of, let's say, Florida State, Miami, Ohio State, and I don't know, fill in the blank after that. That would be, I'd take it.
The riot would start probably an hour after the bracket was announced, I think. I think Miami fans, though, would be a little bit more upset with Ohio State. They're still bitter about that Fiesta Bowl 20 years ago. Get over it, guys. But I think that's the one they'd focus more of their venom on at this rate.
Kevin Coleman.
Shout out to the Miami people I work with who still aren't over that Fiesta Bowl. Get over it, guys.
Kevin Coleman tweeted just a little bit ago, Knowles, I will be back. We loved it here.
Wow.
And got some pictures there. AJ Duffy quoted the tweet and said, wide receiver 1, the FSU Spear. And the funny thing is, Kevin Coleman, I was hearing a lot of interesting things about him during the spring game, that whole weekend there. Some really interesting things. And now after this visit, now it gets even more sticky. And you're going to want to get in the Discord. You're going to want to get in the Discord for this.
Right.
It's just my show, Jason. Our show here has become, our show has become just a big tease for the Discord. That's what it's become.
Maybe give us one nugget, Logan. Something a little more cool.
This nugget, though, interesting is the nugget. Interesting is a nugget. That's actually not the nugget, but it's something that would give it right away. It would give it right away. He's definitely, I would say, right now we could put it on there that, in my opinion, Florida State lean.
Okay, that's a nugget. That's a delicious.
He was a Florida State. Now here, he's a Florida State lean during Florida State spring game, and right now with the family being involved, getting to enjoy a little time with Norvell and Mama. Looked like she was happy. In her FSU gear, she had her foams on too. She was looking good.
Let's understand that this
actually that's not FSU gear.
This is all pretty standard in regards to. I had a great time. It was a great visit. We enjoyed it. Look at the garb. Look at the gear.
Hey, I got a weekend of free time in Tallahassee. Of course, I'm not going to say, man, this weekend sucked. Guess what happens in his next trip? Oh, I had a great time in Baton Rouge. Oh, I had a great time in Columbus. It's called free stuff.
It is a top 3 wide receiver in the country. Right. Wow. Like he's
very talented. The thing best for FSU is AJ Duffy's connection with him. So that's why I feel very confident in that. I felt confident even before AJ Duffy was committed. I felt confident when Nico Markel was in town. Nico Markel and I had a nice little conversation about Kevin Coleman at the Unconquered statue
the soon to be decommitted Nico Markel. great connections there.
It's just a nice little. There's a lot of things that I think are in the works, but we might not see Nico for a little bit longer. But we might see others. We might see others that haven't told Mike Norvell anything. They might have told Mike Norvell anything. I don't know.
Let me remind everyone before we continue that the Super Chat's available. And also, if you would like to donate, contribute directly, meaning if you understand the YouTube situation, directly to the Voice of College Football, we got PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo available, and it comes directly to us.
Give the man some money. Give Mark your money.
I just like to remind people of that. The Super Chat hasn't been too active here in the last several shows, if you guys have noticed.
You haven't gone full like the dogs in the Sarah McLachlan commercial, the sad dogs. You haven't gone that bad yet. But we're just, guys, help Mark out, all right? Give Mark all your money. All your money. I have no money. But go ahead, give me your money. Logan supposedly has stuff that he was going to send to us, but we still haven't gotten them.
That is true.
Does Florida State win a game first, or do Mark and I get the bands first? What happens first?
Bands first, most certainly. Sending out stuff this week. It's been busy. I've been in the Big D, Jason. Been in the Big D. You know, might have been a little networking over there. Got to see what the Longhorns are up to. You know, we just got to feel it out a little bit.
Wait.
What's going on?
Wait, you're commiserating with a different program? You're cheating on Nico
Texas was always my second favorite school.
Why?
Well, because I played it on NCAA, EA Sports.
Okay.
That's exactly what it was.
We're dealing with a different generation, ladies and gentlemen.
There's things. It's fun.
I hope everyone was able to keep up with Logan on Twitter and his stay there in Dallas. It looked like a good time. How was the drive back?
It sucked. I won't be doing that again. If Memorial Day weekend wasn't then I wouldn't be doing that. But now we will be taking the flight. See, Tallahassee's, though, their airport rates, if everybody lives in Tallahassee, or they probably know, it's awful. It's so terrible. They do have a direct flight to Dallas, which is nice. But, I mean, the Memorial Day weekend, it was kind of like a last-minute thing. I was like, you know what? Screw it. And I was able to stay a little bit longer, too, and work was allowing it, and I was able to work from home. So it was fun, though. Nice little getaway.
I'll answer Justin's question real quick, because obviously Marvin Jones Jr. is someone we've talked about a lot on here. He's somebody that I think Florida State has made priority 1, 2, and 3 to get him as a member of the 2022 class. We'll do like Logan here. We'll give you a little tease. I think Florida State right now is the favorite to get Marvin Jones. I think there's both the personal loyalty factor, obviously, with his father, a soon-to-be college football Hall of Famer, if I had voted that one. And just, I think he's on that track. That being said, I do think Miami seriously is still in play for him. And I think it's not going to come down so much to the Miami-Florida State game, but it is going to come down how the season goes. It's going to be, what does Florida State look like by his visit on November 13th? If Florida State has officially crapped the bed, then I think Miami is seriously in play. But if Florida State looks somewhat like the Florida State team that we've talked about during the end of the Jimbo Fisher era, I think Florida State will end up getting Marvin Jones to come in early.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier too, Jason. I think for a majority of these guys, the big time targets like Marvin Jones Jr. along with Armella, it's on the field product, but I do think Florida State is in a very, very good spot with him. And that's a cat. That is a mandatory. Yeah. I think I saw your show, Mark, with Nate, and he mentioned that Marvin Jones Jr. is a must-get / top target / gotta have him. And I completely agree. And I know his dad is very supportive, and he's very, I wouldn't say he's one of those parents that are like, oh, you just go ahead and go anywhere you want. I'd love for you. Even if you go to Florida, blah, blah. I've been around Mr. Shade Tree, and he is a lot of pro Florida State. I mean, why shouldn't he be? But he is going to definitely, I think, be encouraging his son to go to FSU. He's just a diehard Nolan. That's just always how it will be for him. So I think that goes into positive effect for Florida State and makes it easier for the staff to do their thing. But it's got to be on the field play. They got to see progress there, and it's a must need. They got to have it for depth. Got to have a pass rush there. He looks great in size so far. He came into spring putting on a few pounds. He's growing phenomenally. He's got great genes from his dad. But Marvin Shade Tree Jones Jr. has got to be, I think right now, an FSU. And I wouldn't say a lean, but I think he's definitely Florida State's heavily in that mix.
You could say, I'd probably say it's about 60-40 right now towards Florida State. I think one of the things that did help FSU was that state championship game being moved to Tallahassee this December. We talked to him, we interviewed the American Heritage team after they won the title, and seeing him before, you could see that this was a different environment for him. This was playing on the same field. This was the first time he had actually played on the field that his dad started as a linebacker for Florida State in the early 90s. So you could see that. You could see him looking up and seeing his father, the 55 retired up there, the jersey retirement up there. You could start to see that this was a different animal. This was a much different animal. That being said, if Miami is the Miami team that they have the talent to be this season, Miami could definitely be in play for him. And I think that would be a huge, we talked about this before, like Bradley Jennings' son turning down Florida State going to Miami. I think if Marvin Jones does go to Miami over Florida State, that is a huge, huge hurt for Florida State's 22 class.
Yeah, gigantic hurricane. Even going back to Devin Bush Jr. too, and him picking Michigan. That's a total. It's rough. Not that was
Dad got a little job on the side up there.
Yeah, that helps a little tad bit there, but still, you got to start bringing in these legacies, and that's the same with Armella and Marvin Jones Jr. It's really going to depend right smack that. If Florida State gets blown out once again from Notre Dame, it's a heavy concern in recruiting, in my opinion. I mean, if it's in your own house at 8 p.m., I know it's Mike Norvell's. You come after the pandemic and everything, but in my opinion, it's not I wouldn't say heavy concern, but it's a concern for, you're able to get these guys on campus. You're doing everything right. The off season's wonderful, but then there's no progression. This game has to be competitive going into the fourth quarter, in my opinion, for recruiting to stay on this trend right now. It's like AMC to the moon. Florida State's got to take this game in the fourth quarter.
I have to disagree with you on that one part right there. I think it's more not so much the Notre Dame game, because you know what's going to happen. Whether it's a close loss, you know that right now. I mean, we're going to be.
Are you saying Florida? Florida State's getting blown out from Notre Dame?
Hold on.
Chat. Where's the chat? Chat, get them.
Let me finish, sir. Quit trying to stoke fires that aren't there real quick. I think that we all know that Florida State, more than likely, you and I will be there, obviously chopping it up, rooting for Florida State on September 5th. But I think right now we can say Florida State has a very good chance to start the season 0-1 for this fifth straight season. It's going to become the games after that. It's going to become the Wake Forest game. It's going to become that game against Louisville. It's going to become that game against Syracuse, because Florida State has the chance to go into Clemson on October 30th with a 5-2 record. Maybe if they can upset North Carolina, which could happen. I mean, they did it last year, possibly 6-1 at that point. Florida State needs those games. Florida State has to win the games they're supposed to win. Florida State can't have a letdown like they did last year against Louisville, like they did last year against Pitt, like they did last year against Georgia Tech. That's what's going to kill the recruiting. Is if Florida State comes into the Clemson game 5-2 or 6-1, okay, Florida State is in play, and a lot of these guys can see things are starting to turn around. If Florida State goes into Clemson 4-3, 3-4, that's when the panic button gets hit, especially with games left in the season against Clemson, North Carolina State, Miami, Boston College, and Florida to end this regular season.
See, I'm not necessarily saying they have to win this game. I'm saying more of you got to have some kind of progression, though. If there's no implementation.
Okay.
Implementation. There you go. Implementation.
There we go.
Of progression, some competitive edge there whenever you're going into the second half and actually being a game. That's something that I think recruits are going to look at, in my opinion, because they're going to keep getting told these things we had COVID-19. I'm sure that's what's kind of going in and with some of these recruiting trips. COVID-19 last year, Norvell's telling, I'm getting my team, I'm getting my recruits, I'm getting the guys that I want. I want you to kind of change this narrative that Florida State is just kind of on a declining manner where it should be going up. I just think that Florida State has got to stay competitive in this game. If it's another blowout again and not even competitive, they don't have to win this game. Then Florida State most certainly doesn't have to win this game in order to get a Marvin Jones Jr. or a Armella. But if it's 51-13, 55 to
it's not
20, it's just not good momentum for any of those two guys that you really want, and anybody else. But I mean, I know Travis Hunter will be here, but
Florida State has to play against Notre Dame like they did last year. Florida's losing 42-26 as opposed to, I think it was 42-13 in the 2018 season, getting blown out in that game. If Florida State can keep it close like last year, I give you credit, and I will agree with you. That being said, it's that Wake Forest game. You can't go up to, because you're going to probably lose to Notre Dame. You're going to probably beat Jacksonville State. And then it comes down to that Wake Forest game. If you go up to Wake Forest and convincingly beat Wake Forest, things can start to go. Things can start to go a certain way. But if you lose to Wake Forest, you come home against 1-2 against a Louisville team that smoked the hell out of us last year. Yes, I know they lost Tutu Atwell. Yes, I know they've lost a decent amount of those products guys, but that was a team that beat the hell out of us. Mm-hmm. So those to me are the more important games, because those are the games you're supposed to win. And that's what you need to. But there's also something else you need to do, because we're just going to wait real here. Because we're 29 minutes and 46 seconds. So in 10 more seconds, Logan's going to do something that he has done, I'm going to say about 100 times before, maybe 95, between the 95 to 100 range. He's going to tell all of you guys why you should hit the like button, right about now.
You got to hit the like button because right now it's the start of June. The recruiting period is finally open. That whole dead period is gone, and it's going to start kicking up here on the show. Mark's blasting videos all over the place, getting you set up for this upcoming season. The off season's hot. Me and Jason and James are on here. Might be adding on some more people in the future. We shall see. But this is where we're going to be for full coverage. Hit the like button. All you got to do is hit the like button. You could even hit the subscribe button because we've got over 80 people here watching right now. But hitting that like, I think we can get to 50 likes by the time I'm done talking about this. We're at 31 right now. Hitting the like button just helps out Mark. You don't even have to pay anything. You don't have to do much. It just helps share this video to more FSU fans. We do this every week, 109 weeks in a row, the longest streak of an FSU show I think there is on YouTube right now. I've been doing it for over 2 years now. So
We have that.
come say what's up. Hit that like button. That's all you got to do. Let's see where we're at. We're at 37, 41. We're going to get to 50, Jason. We're going to get to 50. We're going to get to 50 likes.
Did you promise you were going to take a shot or something if we got to 50 likes? Or you were
I think it's 75. I think I said 75.
you were going to tell us where you were going out to dinner with your lady friend.
Yeah, I ended up going to a place called Ricardo's here in town.
Nice.
A little Italian. It was delicious.
Nice.
I loved it. It was beautiful.
Very nice.
43 likes though. I'm not going to stop talking. We got to hit 50 likes. I'm sorry, Mark. We got to hit 50 likes. Give me 30 more seconds.
If you hit 50 likes, Logan will shut up. So he's going to talk for 30 seconds.
I'm going to continuously talk, and it's not going to be about anything good. If you want to hear about the latest with Destin Hill, hit that like button. There you go. That will do it. The latest with Destin Hill, big time FSU hopeful signee, hopeful big time.
You could work for my station. That was a damn good tease right there. I like that.
The latest with Destin Hill. If we smack that button, we're there. That like button is right there. I see it on your phone. I see them hearing me.
Mark, save us, please. Save us, buddy. Please.
I'm enjoying this. I got to say that the nugget that was dropped during the open that I picked up on was that Jason could only deliver and promise 3 consecutive shows way down from his prime. And the next thing that perked up my ears was Logan dropping the AMC reference.
He did.
Oh, let me check that real quick.
I missed on that. I just missed on that. Just didn't see it coming. Just I had heard from somebody earlier this week or last week that AMC was to be jumped on.
I called our quarterback, Lieutenant Dan. How did you miss out on that one?
Up 95% today.
I think my ratio is still good. Out of 109, I've only missed, I think, 4. I think my ratio is still good.
It's good.
Ratio. I'm bad enough.
It's good. It's good. So,
beautiful.
Jason,
nice.
it's a beautiful thing, Logan.
It's an AMC.
Did you jump in on that?
It was a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
And it was actually about a month ago.
Really?
And then on about Thursday, add in just a little bit more. And today has just been a fun time.
Only here can you get nonstop news on a 3-6 football team and stock tips. That's what Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, and stock tips gives you.
Yeah, it's really beneficial stock tips. We're telling you what you should have done like a day ago.
I mean, I didn't say it was late to the party, but it's good stock tips.
All right, Jason, as the producer that you are, do we go Hall of Fame next? Do we go
predictions?
Magazine?
No predictions. We're in 2001. Then we can go black.
I did promise Destin Hill, so I feel like we would get shot. I did promise because we're now at 61.
You have 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds. Go.
So 30 seconds. That might take a little bit longer. So there's some concern that Destin Hill, Florida State's you can argue that most talented wide receiver may not be making it into summer camp, if not maybe fall. There's some personal things going on. This would be a huge hit for Florida State on offense. He was supposed to be a guy that would impact his freshman season. Extremely talented guy. There's some things going on. It was kind of going on before he signed with Florida State, but there's more personal things going on from what I've been told. And there are some issues that just have to be resolved before he's able to make it into Tallahassee. His mom was very he was pushing for him to get out of Tallahassee as soon as possible. It seems like that has kind of stalled a little bit, and I think this would be pretty rough for Florida State if this doesn't happen. I mean, there's some we'll see. I don't want to do too much speculation because he's a young kid. There's a lot of things that can change. Some people are saying it's going to be okay. He's going to make it for fall camp. He's going to make it. I mean, for summer. He's going to make it for fall camp. Blah blah blah. But there's some concern there for Destin Hill making his arrival to Florida State. And she should have been here last week, and then it should have been here earlier this week. That's just kind of like the 2 weeks that he should have arrived at FSU.
82 seconds. I gave you 30. You took 82. You stole 52 seconds from us.
I think they'll like the little update there. Well, they won't like that update, but they'll appreciate it.
More of these updates by checking out Noel Game Day. Go to Noel Game Day. Don't pay for his word that starts with a D, but go to Noel Game Day.
Like the videos. And as Mike is telling us right there, Mike 3883, share the videos out on social media. Get on out there. Let people know that we're here. Let people know that Noel Game Day is a place to be every day for Florida State football coverage. All right. Wednesdays at 6. But you got to subscribe and hit the bell for the notifications because we may need to reschedule from time to time like we did last week. So that's why you got to be on top of it. All right.
Spoiler alert, we will at some point reschedule.
Yes, we will. Each and every summer, college football fans look forward to their distribution of magazines, whether that be Lindy's, Athlon, Street and Smith, Phil Steele. What do you have for us there, Jason?
I got a little Athlon right here, giving a little love to little DR King, Elam from Florida, Emmett Rice. They have us going 6-6. They project Florida State will go 6-6, go 4-4 in the ACC, and finish 4th in the Atlantic Division behind Clemson, NC State, and Boston College. Our friends over at Lindy, a little too religious for my taste, but I'll still give them credit for it. They still have King, Elam, and they got Lieutenant Dan and a quarterback in the spring game jersey. They have us finishing 4th as well. They don't have a record prediction for us, but they have us finishing behind Clemson, NC State, and Wake Forest. They have Wake Forest finishing 3rd in the Atlantic, while Athlon has them finishing 6th in the Atlantic Division. So my question to you, Logan, is 6-6, a 6-6 prediction for the Seminoles by Athlon. Are you taking the over on the wins? Are you taking the under? Or are you taking a push right now of 6 wins?
Taking it over because I've been predicting 7 wins. I've been predicting 7 wins for FSU this upcoming year. Although I have been saying that that includes a bowl game win. So what does that give me? What is that kind of where am I at that?
If you're including 7 wins with the bowl, that would say 6-6, and then you take a 7th win in a bowl game. Which, by the way, just for the record, Athlon has us going to the Holiday Bowl in San Diego, California, against Washington Huskies, and I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that would be a little bit different than Shreveport, Louisiana.
That's an area you actually want to go to a bowl game.
I'm completely fine with that.
Yes.
I feel like that's a pretty good prediction. So do they have the losses to which team on there?
But they have us, obviously. Here's the best part about it. Look at the projections right now in the Atlantic Division. They have Clemson going 13-0, including the ACC championship game, and going to 8-0 in the division. They have NC State, Boston College, Florida State, Louisville, all going 4-4. They have all 4 of them teams going 4-4 in the division, and then they have Wake Forest going 3-5, and they have Syracuse going 1-7. So, judging by the law of averages, I guess they would have us losing to Clemson, NC State, and Boston College, and then probably also having us lose to Miami. So the other 2 losses would probably be Notre Dame and Florida coming in there. So, or maybe they have us losing to North Carolina and beating Miami. Maybe they have us NC State and Boston College losing to both North Carolina and Miami. They don't have that right there. But so here's my question: 6-6. You think 6-6 in the regular season is
I think that
projection? You
think? I think that's a decent projection in my opinion. I think it's looking back at last year, and I don't want to grade that too much or use that as too much of evidence, but I think if there's answers made on the defense, I think that's my biggest question mark. The defense. I think 6 wins. I think everybody kind of feels comfortable with putting some money down on that line. I might do it. I might put some money down on it.
I mean, I feel like we need to be prepared for reality. And James talks about it a lot, about how, we need to not accept the mediocrity. And I don't think 7-5 would be mediocre, but we need to accept the reality. after going 5-7, 6-7, and 3-6 the last 3 seasons, we need to accept the reality that like some of our viewers, thank you for supporting us here, have said 7-5 would be a damn good season. And I think the 7-5 is possible. I think, you lose to Clemson, you lose to Notre Dame. I think you lose to Miami. Sorry, guys, I hate to say it. I think we lose to Miami this year. But I think we can win one of the games. I think we either beat a Florida team or we beat a North Carolina team. I think we pull off one of those upsets. And I think we lose a game we're not supposed to lose, whether it's a Louisville, whether it's an NC State. I feel like we haven't reached that potential yet where we can say we are in that mental mindset where we can win every game we should win. So I think in a perfect world, if you say, give me 7-5 right now, I would take that and say that this is the building block. I think 2022, in fact, I'm going to give you my bold prediction right now. Are you ready for the first bold prediction?
We're getting bold predictions out here. Got to get ready. Got to be ready to clip it, Mark. Get the thumbnail ready.
Here we go.
Are you guys ready?
Drum roll.
Can I get a drum roll, Logan?
I'll see if my mic picks it up.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Florida State beats Miami in the 2022 season.
The 2022 season?
2022 season, Florida State beats Miami.
Oh, next see. Oh my word! You're making
I think Miami wins.
Oh my
for
goodness.
games
I think Miami wins.
a year and a half from now.
That's fine, but that's how bold of a prediction it is. I think Florida State beats Miami in the 2022 season.
Jason, you remind me of the person that called me. This is when like Georgia and Notre Dame are two big schools signed a contract to play like in 2033. There was actually somebody that called and asked me to do a preview on the game. They actually called in the call-in show and said, "Can you do a preview on that game in 2032?"
So did you? Mark, I've already put in my days off request for the Florida State Georgia game in Athens in 2028. Okay, you're dealing with a different breed of college football fans.
I don't have any issue with that. You want to go to the game.
Right. It's 7 years away.
You're making a prediction on a game that's a year and a half away.
Let's make a prediction.
Okay.
Yes, I think Florida State will be much better this season not by Florida State standards, but by what we've been the last 4 seasons. I think Florida State will be much better. And I think Miami is, even if they win the Coastal Division, which they could, let's be honest, Miami could win the Coastal Division this year. I think the talent that Miami loses after this coming season is going to be hard to overcome. And I think the way we're going up and Miami's going down, I think next season is going to be the year.
Okay. The chalk is the 5 games that we've talked about that are going to be considerable leaps to win, where Florida State is going to be a considerable underdog. Like Jason, I think it's reasonable to think that Florida State most likely trips up against somebody who's on their current level, Wake Forest, NC State, Boston College, somebody, but hopefully that they can get one of those other big games back and pull off a major upset against somebody. They've got 5 games like that, the way it shakes out right now, that they can jump out and pull off an upset.
I feel like if we're going to say right now, and Logan, let's do this right now. Out of those 5 games, Notre Dame, North Carolina, Clemson, Miami, and Florida, arguably the 5 games that everyone has penciled in. Oh, first of all, let's give some credit. Mike Daniel, speaking of surprises, what about the 2 kids from Vegas? I don't have any kids in Vegas. I don't think.
The 2 kids from Vegas. All right, you might need to. Was it after the casino in New York, New York?
There was one weekend. No, I think I'm good. But real quick, Mike Daniel, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate your $5 here on the channel. Out of those 5 games, Logan, speaking of 5, out of those 5 games, Notre Dame, Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, and Florida, which one, and I'm not guaranteeing victories, we can talk about that as the season goes on, which opponent do you think Florida State has the best chance of beating out of those 5?
In between Notre Dame and I was going to say North Carolina, but I think it's Notre Dame and Miami. Notre Dame is an interesting one because I think you start off the season right away with them. You have a full packed out Doak Campbell Stadium, and you got a new freshman quarterback coming in. They lost a few guys on offense. You're able to use Gibbons there on your offensive line. I think Notre Dame, and both teams are starting off the season first. I think Dillingham and Mike Norvell are going to have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. I think Notre Dame, to me, is the easiest one right now.
I gotta say, Mark, could you do that one more time? Mark and I don't agree on a lot of things here, but could you use that helmet one more time, Mark, to let everyone know who the correct answer is? Thank you. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of Florida. Why is it going to be Florida, in your opinion? Why does Florida have the best chance of beating Florida out of that group of 5?
The reason I chose Florida, and I think most of those teams outside of Clemson are pretty much on the same line. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're playing Alabama, but then they're also going to be an underdog against Iowa State. Like all those schools right now, as they're playing right now, entering 21, are on the same line, except Clemson. The reason Florida jumps out to me is, number one, they were so reliant on that passing game last year, and that's been dismantled. Mm-hmm. They've got a new offense this year, a new quarterback. I don't trust their offense. They're going to be fairly run heavy from what I understand. So you got a passing minded coach who's going to implement, like, they're going to go from like 65-70% passes to like 60% runs. I just think to rely on a defense that was awful last year and a running game that was non-existent to transform that kind of team, plus the games at the end of the season, of course. And consider Florida has high expectations. The way Dan Mulleney's done a nice job. He's gone to 3 New Year's 6 bowl games. They've accomplished to a certain level that I think, let's say they go into that game 7-4. They've got Georgia, LSU, Alabama. Maybe they trip up against somebody and they've got a disappointing season. They're going to be on a downward trajectory, not feeling good about themselves. Florida State, on the other hand, if Florida State goes into that game, let's say 6-5, Florida State's going to be feeling good about themselves. They're going to be feeling good about their season. And there's more ceiling there for Florida State to improve as a team than there is for Florida. So I think if Norvell knows what he's doing and his coaching staff, they could be a much better team the last week of November than they were the first week of September.
And I think I'm going to use your phrase here. You love it when I use it. I think you hit the nail on the head with one thing you just said there. People are looking at the fact of Florida's schedule. Florida has Alabama and Tennessee in back-to-back weeks. Florida has to go to LSU this season. Florida has to go – they play Georgia, obviously, in Jacksonville. They have to go to South Carolina. I think South Carolina is going to be a much better team with Shane Beamer at head coach. Their non-conference schedule is not as easy as it has been in previous years. They do have to play FAU, who's arguably been one of the better teams in the state of Florida of late. They go to USF. They have us at the end of the season. I'm not saying Florida is going to be the 4-7 Florida Gators they were in the past, but Florida is going to be a beat-up team by the time Florida State comes in. Yes, Antonio Dupree, I understand why people are saying North Carolina. I think North Carolina is number 2 because I think Florida State knows we can beat North Carolina after what happened last season. They know we can beat Sam Howell. But that's also an October 9th game. That's a little early in the season. They're not going to be as beat up. Florida's going to be beat to hell by November 27th. Florida could easily, like you said, Mark, could easily be a 6-5, 7-4 team limping into that final game of the season. So that's why I'm going to have to go with Florida. I think Florida State, you know what? I'm busy giving you predictions. I'm going to call it right now. Give me a drum roll, Logan. Give me a drum roll.
Now, is this drum roll going to be worth it?
Give me a drum roll.
It's going to be different?
Give me a drum roll.
Hit the like button, too, down here.
Is it going to be for 2023?
Oh, it's going to be for 2021. Are you ready?
Okay.
Ready? Look.
We're ready.
Florida State beats Florida this season.
Oh, hold on. Someone write it down. Where do I get my notebook at?
Write it down. Lieutenant Dan on offense. Emmett Rice. Oh, let me get in there. Emmett Rice on defense. He'll be wearing a different jersey number. Both of them lead us to victory in Gainesville on November 27th.
Jason says FSU beats
Florida. And FSU beats Miami in 2022. Mark it down. Mark it down, Logan.
I'm surprised you're not giving FSU a better chance to beat Miami.
Because I think Miami, I think Florida State does lose to Miami this season because I do believe that this is a Miami team that that was truly awakened by what happened last season, by getting blown out against North Carolina, by losing against Oklahoma State in the Cheez-It Bowl. Here's what I will say about Miami. Miami hasn't been in this position. In 2017, they were 10-0, but then they lost the final 3 games of the season. That was the Miami team we have seen much of the last decade and a half, an underachieving Miami team. I'm willing to give Miami the benefit of the doubt because I think De'Aaron King is the best player in the state of Florida. I think he's a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate entering the season. That being said, what is going on, Logan? What are you doing?
I've seen if we're going to celebrate and hit 100 likes or not, and I'm going to go chug a drink for live on stream.
Trade, that's fine. I legitimately believe that Miami. I think they can win the Coastal Division. I think they are going to beat North Carolina. I think they're going to win the Coastal Division. I think they're going to slip up against a Virginia Tech, a UVA, an NC State. They'll slip up in a game they shouldn't. They'll go 10-2, something like that. But I legitimately think that this Miami team is going to be much better than it has been the past 3 or 4 seasons. That being said, could they be as bad as the 6 and 7 team they were in 2019? Yes, they could. It's going to be those games. It's going to be that Thursday night game against Virginia. It's going to be that game against NC State. It's going to be that game on the road at Pitt. Do they actually do like we've said about Florida State? Miami's in the same boat. Can Miami actually win the games they're supposed to win?
Worst case scenario for Florida State within reason is that they lose all 5 games that they're supposed to lose, that they're substantial underdog or should be, and then they trip up once or twice against, which is understandable and could happen. Boston College, NC State, Louisville, there's enough of those other teams to trip them up.
Florida State could easily be, in a perfect world, a 7-5, 8-4 team. If everything plays out and the stars align perfectly, Florida State could be that good. Florida State also could be a 4-8 team. We just need to realize that. So fans, get your hopes high, but don't get them too high that you aren't prepared for the eventual fall. Okay.
And that's why I always like to place it in context, because this team does have the toughest schedule in the conference, and it's not even close.
In the country. We have the toughest schedule in the country. We play 2 playoff teams this season. Notre Dame and Clemson, 2 teams that made the playoff last year. We play a Miami team. We play a Florida team that went to the New Year's Six last year, and they got annihilated by Oklahoma. We play a North Carolina team that won the Orange Bowl, that went down to the Orange Bowl last season. We play, I would say, the toughest schedule in the country.
Yeah, you play in the tougher of the 2 divisions, then you play the 2 best teams in the other division, then you stack up with those 2 heavyweights out of conference, and nobody else has to face that in the ACC. Not even close.
You know how we'd win? If Warwick Dunn, Peter Warwick, and Marvin Jones had one more year of eligibility. That'd be great.
Unfortunately, we've hit 7 o'clock and we need to run. Now, I will say this. We've got 131 on the line. That's the most people we've had on the line in quite some time. 131. Most of those people have joined us. Most of you late in the show. So you wait for the video to process. It's going to post here in the next 15 minutes. Watch what you missed. And with 131 on the line, yes.
We're really going to talk about the Hall of Fame.
No, I don't have time. I've got a 7 o'clock show. We're moving here at the Voice of College. I've got obligations.
Next week
we will talk about the Hall of Fame next week. We've got obligations, and I would say we'd stick it out here, but I got another show that's going to do at least 1:30. Anyway, I am very happy to see the 131. Maybe somebody out there is listening to us when we say, please share the link. Let people know that we're here.
Sponsorship. Sponsor us, guys.
Hit the
Venmo or Cash App MarkRogersTV.
Hit that button. We're gonna get to 100. Hit that like button right there. We're at 86.
Did you really Google how to hit a like button or what a like button looks like?
Why am I getting Green Bay Packers alerts? But hit that like button right there. We're at 86 likes. I think we're gonna get to 100, Mark.
Awesome.
Come on, hit the like button.
Jason and Logan, those are the guys that make this thing go. They're here. They give the analysis. They make it roll. They make it happen. So join Logan on Noel Game Day, whether that's right there on the site, NoelGameDay.com, or right here on YouTube. Just type in Noel Game Day. Follow JPZ. Did I get it right? What's the number included on the Twitter account?
JPZ333. This week on NBC6.com, we'll have you covered with college baseball. Shout out to the Noles in Oxford, Mississippi this week for the NCAA Regional. Lady Noles softball team, shout out to them. They're at the Women's College World Series, so somebody win a national title for us this year. And we're going to evaluate how the Miami Heat can get worse than they did this season. That's
yikes.
Right.
So everybody that's on the line right now, just jump on over to our Miami channel. We've got Miami Live coming up right now. Jason, hang with me. No, we don't want to see that on camera. Okay.
What is it?
Jump on over to the Miami channel. We're going live right now. Then 8 o'clock on the main channel. I take your calls. All right. See you next time.
Oh, 95 likes. Almost. One day.